guys and gals? Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. And some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. As y'all can see, today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Lyre. So, anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Very eager to see where the story goes. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of who killed the king, because that trial is fast approaching, y'all. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. No. Dude, there we go. Okay, wait, return. There you go, okay. I should have asked the headsman if he knew how Lyre was doing. Chapter 11, Day 37. I've avoided sleep for the past few days. Or rather, sleep has been avoiding me. No matter how much I yearn or how hard I try, it always seems just out of reach. The tender feeling of resting my body into the warm embrace of unconsciousness feels like a distant memory. Hope turns to sand falling between my fingers, and my determination is like the flame of a candle. I can't let it go. I can't let it go out, though. It feels like it's the only thing I have left of myself. It feels like it's been ages since I've closed my eyes. My eyelids feel like dry leather, and the eyes beneath them burn with a searing pain. Reality feels like a blur. It's a similar feeling to when I wake up from a strange dream. It takes a moment to process everything around me. Even without any sleep, I still dream. My eyes are open and I'm wide awake, but I still dream. I dream of Lyre, stripped of his armor and thrown before the steps of the throne. His scar over his eye bleeds, dripping blood onto the branches of the throne. Each drop sprouts a flower, blooming a beautiful crimson color. When the blood is spent, the flowers wilt. With that, a knife slides between my ribs. I dream of Liz, clad in the armor of an angel. She rides a bear, eyes black as night and fur matted with blood. Her gaze is cold and conflicting. Again, lightning strikes outside the window as my rack of antlers rip through the drapes. I then dream of Rainer. He stands before a window, left antler made of gold, his towering figure bathed in red light from the flames below. A long, slender sword falls from his hand, clattering on the floor. Cold steel drags across my throat. My dreams have slowly begun to merge with my visions. Like the mind's eye, they all swirl into a spiral, mixing together like a whirlpool, dragging me down deeper and deeper into the chasm of the past. The visions mock me as I seek out answers. I'm too stubborn to realize that I'm already out of time, I suppose. The day of the trial has arrived, and I'm still no closer than I was 9 days ago. I cannot but wonder if I would be closer had I not tried to rush things. Dwelling on it won't do me any good, though. Oh, I'm sorry, Tygren. There's a long silence followed by a ringing in my ears. At first I think they're just not going to respond, but after a few moments they let out a reply. Don't. Oh, I guess they added sound effects for talking. They're muffled, almost like they're talking into a pillow. Tygren? I'm not sure I like this. It's kind of weird sounding. Anyway. Are you even there? Another long moment of silence before they respond, this time a bit more clear. Yes. I'm still here, but not for long. I can hear an uneasy tone in their voice as the words catch in their throat. What do you mean? The trial is today. This time their tone is a bit more stern. It's our connection. It's growing weaker by the day. Our connection? Think back to when they were first beginning to reach me. It seems like forever ago, but in reality it's only been a few weeks. Their voice was so muffled and sometimes I barely noticed them. Why is our connection weak? Will it get better? Tygren takes a deep breath and answers. They sound like they're on the other side of the door. It's not your fault. At all. The fault lies entirely with me. The reason our connection is growing weak is because I've been pushing you. I wanted to make sure that you would have enough time to train, but I also wanted you to play it safe. I now realize that I've only made things worse. Don't say that. I can feel that I'm getting close. Just a few more tries, I'm sure I'll be able to figure out all this out. I try to put out an optimistic attitude, but it comes off more as false hope. 1 second, y'all. Water time. I'm sure they can sense that. You don't need to reassure me. If one thing is true, it's the fact that I've failed you. Nobody has ever trained as hard and fast as you have. You have more potential than I ever imagined. My power is simply not what it used to be. Wasn't enough. I stand up and walk over to the window, resting my arms on the cold stone in the opening. What do you mean by that? If anything, you've given me a chance. It's something I have to admit. Even with all the rules and restrictions put on their power and all the knowledge they have to keep to themselves, they've only been trying to help me. But I also can't help but remember that this relationship goes both ways. They're helping me so I can do their bidding. I can't help but wonder, why me? I know I wasn't exactly chosen, but it feels odd that all of this would start to happen the moment I end up in this position. Coincidental, even. I only mean that. I'm limited in my ability, but it's because of a sacrifice I had to make. Sacrificing what? I think back to Alverton, the monkey from the vision I had, and I feel a lump form in my throat. Nothing like that, I assure you. To read into my mind again. I'm a bit used to it by now, but not entirely numb to the feeling. Then again, the thought of them sacrificing Alverton was almost as intrusive as Tygren is. My powers were once beyond your comprehension. I was on a similar standing with the higher gods. Their voice wavers, and it's like listening to them while my ears are clogged with water. We were all creators in our own right, controlling laws and ideas, helping the world turn. It sounds less interactive than the role I play now, I understand, but the power was immense. However, it was nothing without control. Like a farm, crops can grow and animals can breed, but it will always need a farmer. Someone to control and guide. I was the first of the gods to realize this. Hearing them speak of the higher gods causes me to feel a bit sick. Trying to understand it all is a bit easier as time goes on, but the overwhelming feeling of it never really goes away. The sacrifice that they mentioned also doesn't leave my mind. The sacrifice you made, does it have anything to do with Alverton? It was for Alverton. I sacrificed my power for Alverton and the world he knew. The state of the world was heading down a path of decay, and I knew I had to do something. I brought it to the attention of my fellow gods. They were quite content with seeing things play out, knowing that they could always start over. I, however, was not willing to settle for such an outcome. I hear a distant rumbling sound, and I cannot determine if it's coming from within my head or somewhere outside. I proposed giving up most of my power and freedom in order to give the world a second chance. With this trade, I would be allowed an avatar, a mortal vessel which I would be able to use as an emissary of sorts. It would be able to understand past mistakes and pave a path for a brighter future. It would act as a guide for the world, and I would act as a guide for them. Thank you for answering my questions, but why are you telling me about all these other things? I tell you this because it is relevant. Is there any way I can stop our connection from growing weaker? Can you do anything about it? Yes. That sacrifice I made for Alverton. I'm going to make a similar sacrifice for you. What? Don't think too much about it. The ribbon that binds us is weakening, and I need to take action. You've done your part to get us out of this situation, so allow me to do mine. What are you going to do? What are you talking about? Someone's going to come down here for me any minute now. I need you! Don't worry. I'm just going to consult with the higher gods. Her voice becomes more and more distant. I can't help but feel like I'm losing a part of myself. If everything goes the way I plan, you'll come out of this, with your head still on your shoulders. I will be back. Please take care, and trust in me. I step away from the window, eyes looking up into the air as if they were standing right there. You have to believe me when I tell you that everything will turn out okay. No, even if it seems like it won't. You have to have faith. Her voice trails off with each word. You don't have to do this. I'm close. I can... Tygren? There isn't a response. For the first time in weeks, my mind feels empty. I clumsily sit down on the cold slab of stone. The silence is almost numbing. It's like a weight was lifted off my chest, but something inside of me was taken along with it. Tygren? I still receive no response. This can't be happening. No, no, no. Please tell me this isn't happening. It's not even the fact that they're gone. As abrupt as it was, I know they'll be back. They said they would. The problems that encircle my mind now is that they're about to do something about to do something drastic. How's this going to affect things? Can I still even use my powers? Before I can even feel like I'm closing my eyes, my consciousness jumps from one point to another, and a slight feeling of relief washes over me. It does nothing to quell the anxiety, though. The colorful walls of the chasm dance by as I stand there in the midst of it all. Winds of shimmering dust fly by at a speed similar to when I first arrived here, only reminding me of just how stressed I truly am. Sorry, I did just wake up. Tygren! I call their name, yelling it out into the tunnel, but I get no sign of a response. The winds only pick up slightly, and the echoing voices of the past flow by, sending chills through my body. I start to feel more and more aggravated as the situation settles in. If you can hear me, please come back. You don't need to take such drastic measures. Even if you do, we can talk about it more here, right? Again, No response. Anger swells more and more inside of me. Weeks of frustration have finally reached their boiling point. You stupid god! Why can't you just tell me these things? Between your botched plan to farm our world and the other god's desire to watch it burn, I've had it up to here with everyone's shit. The wind picks up, but I stand firmly in place. If you want me to shoulder everyone's burdens, including yours, then just tell me! I turn around, looking up and down the tunnel, trying to see if I can get any reaction from anyone. Nothing happens. Damn it all! Oh. I lean forward in my seated position, lowering my head down between my legs. I'm still able to use my power, right? Ty never said anything about me losing that. Even so, I don't think I have enough stamina. Any sense of weight being lifted off my shoulders is now gone, as a numbing feeling of dread creeps down my neck. I squint my eyes, trying to concentrate on the vision in my mind. That night, I need to know who did it. Just a hint, any hint that can give me a chance. Oh. Damn it! A vision comes across even messier this time, only granting me a slight visual. Everything's falling apart before my eyes. Each time I try to have a vision, it's like looking in a mirror before someone shatters it. Every time I get so much as a glimpse, the vision collapses and I'm thrown back to reality. Controlling what I want has gotten easier, but seeing it has become more and more difficult with each day that passes. I lay down on the bed, trying to relax my body on the cold stone surface. A wave of exhaustion begins to overwhelm me. Laying there, staring at the ceiling, I contemplate falling asleep. Someone will be down here sometime today to drag me out of this cell. I don't know when, though, so I may as well try to rest. I'm gonna need as much energy as possible. For the past few days, all I've been doing is dwelling on the past, reaching out for a vision so close, yet so far away at the same time. For the first time in several days, I actually feel tired. Is it because Tygren's gone? No, I don't think that's the reason. But I'm not responsible for my stupid decisions. My strategy failed me, that's all there is to it. I haven't done anything. I haven't changed a bit. All the power I have, all I can do is sit idly by. My eyes jolt open as the sound of metal clinking together brings me out of my sleep. I sit up and look over to the doorway where I see a turnkey trying to open it. A feeling of dread washes over me. How long was I asleep for? I glance out the window and see that the sun is higher in the sky. It's most likely close to noon at this point. I've only been asleep for a short while. The cold air from the window wafts onto my body, and I wonder how I was able to sleep at all. I get up and move over to the other side of the cell. I see two turnkeys standing by the door. One of them is wrestling with the lock on the other door, while the other stands next to him, holding some cloth, using a bucket with hot steam rising from the top. The first one is muttering some swears under his breath, while the other stands there silently, looking down at the ground. Behind them stands a castle guard. He's a lynx, clad in basic armor with a large green cloth draped around his neck and shoulders. The turnkey unlocks the door and swings it open, banging into the wall behind it. I don't really know what to do, so I just stand there, backed against the wall, looking at them. I'm still barely clothed, only wearing the pants from the ball. They're scuffed and stained with mud, looking more like a rusty brown compared to the midnight black they were on that night. I look closer and realize that the bundle of cloth the turnkey is carrying looks like a pair of neatly folded clothes. Knowing that they're going to give me some clothes is a bit of a good feeling. I hate to be tossed before the throne as a dirty man in rags. Better to be a dirty man in clean clothes. However, the bucket of water might be to clean myself. I step into the cell, the first turnkey stepping off to the side, while the second one walks in, setting the clothes down. Stand still! He says this in a raspy voice which travels out from under his hood like a growl in a bear cave. At first I don't understand what they intend. Then I watch as the silent turnkey brings back the bucket and begins to heave it forward. Wait! I barely have any time to protest, let alone dodge, as the hot water leaps through the air onto me. The initial shock is horrific as the heat surges over my body. Some of it gets in my mouth and it tastes salty. I throw myself back a bit, backing against the wall and blinking my eyes. Why would you do that? Neither of them respond. After a few seconds, the feeling of pain goes away, and soon I'm standing there, dripping from head to toe with warm water. I'm far from being warm myself, though, as the cold breeze rushes in through the door, blowing onto my skin and sending goosebumps over my exposed arms. Turn around. I look up at the other turnkeys being handed a second bucket by the guard. Turn around. Reluctantly turning around, my body feels stiff and I tilt my head downwards, clenching the muscles in my neck, bracing for the impact of hot water on my back. It only takes a moment for the stinging wave of water to be thrown on me, trickling down my back and soaking my pants. A muddy puddle is formed on the ground around my feet. I don't really feel clean. The guard nods to the silent turnkey, then they walk forward, picking up the clothes and setting them on the bed. Those will be sitting on the bed for you once you're ready. Okay? The turnkey walks up to me and pulls a rough-looking sponge from the bucket. Before I can question them, they press it onto the side and begin to sloppily scrub away at my skin. What? What are you doing? Stop! I pull back and look at the guard. He frowns and looks at me. They need to clean you before you present yourself to the king. As the guard says this, the turnkey picks up where they left off and continues to scrub. This is ridiculous! I'm not a pig being prepared for slaughter! I grab the sponge from their paw rather easily and throw it into the bucket. A small bit of water left in the bucket flies into the air, splashing on the ground in front of the guard's shoes. I'm perfectly capable of washing myself! I say this while glaring at him. He steps forward and reaches into the bucket, pulling the sponge from the bottom. Rising back up, he shoves it into my chest with a bit of force, gritting his teeth as I'm backed into the corner. They're going to do their job, and you're going to be quiet. And when they're done, we're going to escort you to the trial. They push harder on my chest, the metal of their gloves digging into my skin. Or I could bring you there now, naked and shivering like the pathetic worm you... His words escape him as his attention is drawn to the hallway. The rhythmic sound of steel clanking together travels up the hall, getting closer with each thud. Bjorn? I imagine the large bear trudging his way down the hall. I can feel my heart beating in my chest as the guard's first presses against the wall. When he was standing in the doorway, I didn't realize how big he was. Lately, I've only been visited by people either around my height or much smaller than me. I grab his arm and push him off me with the little strength I have. Get off! I actually managed to make them stumble back, their full attention on the hallway. I snaps them out of it, however, and they push me harder into the wall, letting out a snarl. The person walking down the damn corridor now sounds like they're just a few cells down. Alright, so we're gonna, a little bit of mystery to this. Alright, we're gonna find out who that is in the next episode, y'all. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!